Wild Mountain, a novel, by Nancy Hayes Kilgore. Read for you by Shelagh Connor Shapiro. Life is a spell so exquisite that everything conspires to break it. Emily Dickinson. Chapter 1. On the day she rescued Frank MacFarland, Mona had been thinking of condiments. Red salsa, green salsa, yellow mustard, Dijon mustard, barbecue sauce, teriyaki sauce, Worcestershire sauce, chutney, sweet relish, green olives, black olives. Every time she stocked more of one thing, they'd clean her out of something else, and the last time she had restocked mustard, no one had bought any for a year. She moved the little credit card machine back 2 inches and sat down on the stool behind the counter, directing her gaze to the light. Through a layer of dust on the window, the sky transformed from light to dark, and then to light again, and Mona Duval, the still point within the flickering dance, decided to order more pickles. She made a note on her notepad and raised her eyes to the window. This was mountain light, reflecting off the river in summer and the snow in winter, and shining back from the clouds so that her little store on the hill was bathed in a kind of glow. She had always felt it, this shining quality of the world here in Wild Mountain, especially on a sunny day, but it had only been recently that she could name it. The smell of damp wood arose from the floor, the result of a succession of wet boots, and Mona wondered again if she should redo the floor with vinyl tile. She opened the cash register and sifted through a pile of checks under the stack of 20s, then studied the credit card receipts, but she already knew the answer. She couldn't afford renovations. Well, she liked the plank floors, after all, even though they tended to absorb the damp. They were homey, indigenous, a word old B. Vargas used about anything that was weathered or funky. The store had been quiet today, but now a voice boomed out from the back. "I didn't." Young Edson Perry's Vermont accent was so pronounced that the words came out as, "I didn't," and the rest of his speech was obscured in a murk of vowels, punctuated by abrupt breaks serving as consonants. Who was he talking to? "We don't want it." Edson's voice grew to a roar, a contentious roar. What could Edson be getting so riled up about? Mona fingered the end of her braid, twisted it in her fingers, and craned her neck to see around the aisles to the back. Oh, yes. Alice Spinelli, the town minister, had been meandering between the aisles. Mona had owned the general store for 8 years now, and she still woke up every day thankful. When she was married, she'd lived in Rutland with its drugs and crime and ugly strip malls, and with Johnny O. Duval, whose jumble of charm and malice had surrounded her life with a desperate gray cloud all year long. She'd wandered into that cloud and lost her way. Thank God the threatening phone calls had finally stopped. And thank God for the store and her house above the river, the Abenusik River, sometimes a trickle, sometimes a roaring torrent, its colors changing from day to day and from morning to night, was alive with light and power as it ran beneath the covered bridge. Today, though, the river wasn't running beneath the bridge. The river wasn't running at all. Today the river was packed with ice, chunks and blocks of ice as big as boulders, jammed together along the banks and strewn haphazardly in the center. Alice Spinelli arrived at the counter, Edson just behind her. "Over my dead body," shouted Edson, a big round-faced guy who smelled like engine oil and manure. Alice placed 3 containers of yogurt, a can of dog food, and a Rutland Herald on the counter. "This is 2008, you know," she said with a haughty look. Alice, who stood head-to-head with Edson, was tall, with sloping bosoms and dark brown hair flowing loose over her shoulders. She flung her hair back over a brown coat that sported a huge campaign button reading "Marriage Equality," and raised an eyebrow at Mona. "Vermonters believe in real marriage," Edson bellowed, pounding on the counter with his fist and making both women flinch. "We have family values." Pipe down, Edson, Mona thought, but didn't say, as that would probably have inflamed him more. Same-sex marriage. There was a bill for it supposedly coming before the legislature, but most people thought the idea was pretty far out. Gay people getting married? Mona couldn't imagine it. Strangely, gay marriage had just become legal in Massachusetts, but it was common knowledge.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?